G'day everyone, CJ with you again. So yeah, I'm putting together this bullet smoker, and I've got another little tip for you that hopefully will make your life easier and hopefully actually improve your safety in this instance as well. If you've ever assembled anything like this that's made from powder-coated, especially powder-coated ferrous metal like mild steel for instance, and you look through and of course read all of the cautions and warnings in the manual, you might have seen in there a warning not to over tighten the fasteners. Now there's a reason for that. It's one that not a lot of people probably pay attention to, or a huge amount of attention to a lot of the time, but there's a very good reason for it. And again, if you've assembled something like this yourself, you might already know the reason why. You might have experienced this yourself. If you over tighten the fasteners and you really go at it, and you might hear a crunch or a crackling noise, yeah, what you've just done there is cracked the powder coat under the head of the fastener. Or either under the head of the fastener or at the point of greatest clamping force or contact pressure between the thing that you're bolting to the other thing, right? So you've created a flaw in the powder coat under the fastener. You're like, oh, big deal, right? I mean, first of all, if you really go at it and you're assembling something that's made out of round tube or square or rectangular hollow section, there's a chance you might crush that hollow section, which is not great, especially for round tube, because if you crush a bit of round tube, it's not round anymore, is it? And the whole thing that gives round hollow section its strength is the fact that it's round. Once you deform it, it'll just fold in whatever direction it's deformed, right? If you take it from round to ellipse, it'll just fold over along the longitudinal axis of the ellipse eventually, or much sooner than it otherwise would at a much lesser load. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Aside from the danger of actually crushing things, you get into a situation where if you've cracked the powder coat underneath, you've created a point where, in this case for this grill, this charcoal grill, fats and grease, oils, or any residual moisture from steam just runs down the side of the thing, and it goes straight in seeps in under the head of the fasteners and starts to corrode the actual steel inside, right? Which is what the powder coat's there to prevent. It's like, yeah, so big deal, right? For this thing, you know, if I do that on one of these, a big deal. That's not really going to affect anything much, right? If I go really hard at it on every one of these fasteners and I crack the powder coat under, say, all four of one of these attachment points for this leg, you know, a couple of years' time, or however long down the track, I might go to pick it up and the leg falls off, and then it's useless, you know? Not really easy or worth fixing, right? So that's fine in this scenario. That's not going to kill anybody. But if you're, say, putting together play set, swing set for the kids, you know, you probably want to pay attention to not over-tightening those fasteners and damaging the powder coat. Unless you're happy with, you know, little Jimmy taking a quick trip with a short stop in a bush or something like that, as the chain separates from the crossbar of the swing set or something, you know, the shackle. Anyway, so there's just another little thing to be aware of, guys, and tip, and I hope you found that interesting. Cheers.